Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. All right, everybody, I'm back. Good to be back. So want to go ahead and talk. Listen, we're going to have our full Sunday night Aaron Torres pod recap show again on Sunday. We'll talk that Bama, Tennessee wild finish. We'll talk Texas, Georgia, etc. But I want to very quickly just talk about a team and a program that we talk about quite a bit here on the Aaron Torres pod and Aaron Torres pod YouTube channel quite a bit. That is the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado coming off that loss to Kansas State. Needed to get right, and boy, oh boy, did they do it in a big way Saturday. How about this? They were a slight underdog according to Vegas. I don't think Vegas has figured them out. We'll discuss that. But at the same time, they were a slight underdog. They go to Tucson, Arizona, and lay the wood to the Arizona Wildcats. Final score 34-7. And here's the crazy part. I don't even think they played that well. They're dealing with some injuries like everybody this time of year. I don't think they played that well, left some points on the field. This one could have been even uglier, but Colorado with it gets their fifth win, improves on the win total from a year ago. This is a different team, and I believe the one big thing I took out of this game, this is a top 25 team in college football right now, and I've said it since the UCF game. This is a team that is good enough to win the Big 12. Let's go ahead and dive in. And again, I think the thing that stands out to me, Colorado was really good in spots. I don't think they were great, though, and they still won by 27. In terms of what worked, that defense was phenomenal. Let's start giving praise to Damian Lewis, the defensive line coach, Warren Sapp, his assistant, because I'll tell you, man, those defensive linemen are getting after it, okay? BJ Green blew up a couple big plays. Sam Okunlola had the big penalty early. You could see him going to the sideline frustrated. Second half, he's blowing up everything, making plays in the backfield. I believe the final total was 7 sacks. By the way, I know he obviously doesn't play defensive line, but Shiloh Sanders, who, of course, a week ago was struggling in his return from an injury, had a big sack early to kind of set the tone. And that defense looks the part. They're flying all over. Colton Hood, interception, almost returned for a touchdown. But the crazy part about this game was that there were spots where Colorado certainly could have and maybe should have been better. Shedeur Sanders, listen, I know that Travis Hunter was not there for the second half. For people who missed it, I think if you're watching this video, you probably already know. But Travis Hunter appeared to be, I don't know if it's the same injury as last week. We'll talk, we'll get some clarification from Coach Prime afterward. But second half in street clothes. But from the needs to be better perspective from Colorado, I thought Shedeur Sanders played good. I didn't think he played his best. 23 of 33. Again, you're missing an All-American wide receiver. But, I don't think he played his best game. The run game was really good late. I don't think it was perfect early. And then, as I said, you look at some of the other drives throughout the game. There were a couple where they were in the red zone, couldn't convert to points. Colorado had 3 turnovers overall. And so I bring it up because this is actually the best kind of win for Colorado, because Coach Prime can still go into that locker room and say, guys, we got to be way better. The standard isn't winning. The standard is the standard, to steal a line from Nick Saban and Bill Belichick and whoever, okay? But they didn't play their best football, but they still get the win. But Coach Prime gets to go in and say, you know what, guys, we got a lot to work on. We got a lot to get better at as the season goes on. And that speaks to me to who Colorado is right now. 2 years ago, worst program in the Power 5. Last year, 4-8, 1-8 in their last 9 games overall. This year, they're not only 5-2, but they're 5-2 winning games on the road in league play when they don't even play to the best of their capabilities. No, Arizona isn't playing well right now, but I think that is a very impressive thing. And when I look at Colorado in the bigger picture, let me say this. I watch college football all day Saturday. For people who don't know, I host the Fox Sports Radio National Recap Show, 11 p.m. Eastern, 600 station nationwide, okay? And so I only bring it up because I watch college football all day, every day. I'm here to tell you, right now, Colorado is playing like a top 25 team in college football. And I mentioned this on Twitter, but think about, listen, that Nebraska game was bad. Week 2, on the road, Nebraska's been okay since then, but Nebraska obviously got punked themselves on Saturday in Bloomington, Indiana. But I just bring it up to very simply say this, is that you look at what Colorado's done since that Nebraska game. Destroyed Colorado State. They beat Baylor. Whatever. Do you want to? The Coach Prime haters would say that they got lucky. I would say, listen, and we talked about it at the time. There was a punt return or a kickoff return for a touchdown where if one tackle gets made, Shedeur doesn't have to make that throw late in the game to force overtime. But they got the win. And then since then, here's what they've done. Destroyed UCF. Kansas State, who is the favorite in the Big 12, goes to Colorado. Colorado is without Travis Hunter, without Jimmy Horn, so they're down their top two receivers, or at least two of their top three. They are also, Shiloh Sanders is playing injured, not at 100%. You could tell he was not himself. Shedeur, I don't think, played his best game. And they were up in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go. So last week was kind of the opposite. They didn't play great and almost had a chance to win. This week, they play great and absolutely dominate. But if you are playing what a team that many believe could be the best team in the Big 12, and you're playing them down to the wire, down to your top two wide receivers, your best cornerback, who, oh, by the way, is an All-American on two sides of the football, you know you're in pretty good shape. And when I look at the bigger picture of this team, I am so bullish on where they can go throughout the rest of the season. Look at the schedule and how it's breaking, okay? You go into the season and you have 5 ranked teams in the Big 12, okay? Well, Colorado's played 2 of them, lost to Kansas State last week in a game that they easily could have won. We just discussed that. Destroyed Arizona. Now, Arizona's a disappointment, and that's an Arizona conversation. I love my guys over there that cover Arizona, but this might be the most disappointing team in college football this year, okay? But I only bring it up to say, look at the rest of the schedule. You thought that back half was so challenging in August, in July. They had at the time, ranked Kansas team. You had at the time, ranked Utah team. And you had at the time, ranked Oklahoma State team. Well, look at the Big 12 standings right now. Kansas, 2-5, 1-3 in the Big 12. Oklahoma State, maybe Oklahoma State's a bigger disappointment than Arizona because Oklahoma State is 3-4 right now, 0-4 in the Big 12 after losing to BYU. And then also Utah, listen, I think Kyle Whittingham's a great coach, but, they're without Cam Rising for the rest of the year. They're playing a true freshman at quarterback. So I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk for Colorado. Listen, I think Texas Tech is tough to play, but Texas Tech just got beat at home by Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's playing good. But I just bring it up because the combination of certain teams not being as good, you avoid Iowa State, you avoid BYU. Nobody could have projected in the preseason that those would be 2 huge teams to avoid. There is a pathway to get to the Big 12 championship, and I think you could play with anybody once you get there. So I am just here to say, listen, you talk about some exciting things that could be on the horizon in college football with this 12-team playoff. First of all, it's worth noting Army and Navy are both undefeated. One of them could get the group of 5. How cool would that be? Army or Navy going on the road in the college football playoff. But then beyond that, I'm here to tell you, I truly believe in my heart. When I look at Colorado, I think they are playing like a top 25 team right now. Nobody wants to give Coach Prime credit for anything, okay? But at the same time, look at them. They're getting better every week. They're a different team from week 1 and week 2. And then I think on top of that, you don't even have to play your best and you're destroying teams on the road. By the way, listen, I don't know how many of you are gamblers, please gamble responsibly, right? Vegas does not know what to do with Colorado. I think that's kind of an interesting element. The line was way off on Colorado State. The line was, what were they, a 14.5-point underdog at UCF? Last week, even in losing to Kansas State, they ended up covering. I think they were like, a 5.5-point home underdog or home underdog. And then today to be an underdog, I know they're on the road, but we talked about it on the college football betting show. Is like Arizona fans are not excited about this team. You can basically giving away tickets. And I thought Colorado should be favored. So they go in, they win by 27 as whatever it was, a 2.5-point underdog. This team is rolling. I watch college football all day. If you're telling me right now, I don't know, Missouri's a top 25 team or whoever, I can't even think of who's in the top 25 right now. You cannot tell me that Colorado is not a top 25 team as well. So credit to the Buffs. They get the victory. And I'm telling you, The best is yet to come for this team. Everything that they want, everything that they could have hoped for is ahead of them. Obviously, the big story off the field, you got to make sure Travis Hunter gets healthy. No, that's not going to be easy. They do have a bye after next week against Cincinnati, so we'll see. But the bottom line is give Colorado credit, man. They look awesome right now with a dominant win in which they did not even play great. By the way, do me a quick favor. Subscribe. Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. A lot of Colorado coverage coming up.